What if I told you embracing the part of you that you're hiding or suppressing within you, such as anxiety or imposter syndrome or your insecurity? What if that part could help you to manifest what you really want in your life? So here's the thing. This video is not for you if you don't have a courage to face yourself. But if you're a rare individual who wants to face yourself and embrace every part of yourself and be the most confident version of yourself, love yourself and achieve your goals faster, then keep watching. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nemoto. I'm a mindset coach and I'm a hypnotist and I'm a TEDx speaker, and currently I have 2.6 million followers across social media. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can harness and embrace your dark shadow self and then turn into the amazing power and amazing positive energy so that you can manifest faster and you can become the most confident version and you can achieve your goals and then create the rapid transformation. So this is called shadow alchemy. The shadow alchemy is literally alchemize your shadow, that is insecurity and everything that's holding you back. You think this is not a good part of you. This is not something that you don't like about yourself, something that you're ashamed, XYZ, XYZ. But what if you can turn that shadow into something that people look at you and wow, that is amazing, so inspirational. That's how you become the most confident version. As a matter of fact, without doing the shadow alchemy, you cannot be the most confident version or the best version of yourself. Therefore, you have to eventually compromise your life. So what is this shadow in the first place? So the Carl Jung said there is a shadow self. So based on Carl Jung, the shadow self is the part that you suppress, the part of you hide. You don't want to face, you feel ashamed, you don't like about this part. This is the shadow self. But here's the thing, the shadow self is not like separated from you, right? This is part of you. So the people who cannot embrace that shadow self, what's happening is that I accept conditionally about myself. I like this part of myself, but I don't like this part of myself. Therefore, I will ignore it and I will hide it from it. And I'm not going to face it and fuck all these part, my shadow self. Bye-bye. So your love towards yourself is absolutely conditional. And then therefore, there's a little part of you you're not accepted. And a lot of people are thinking like, oh, like I need to look for other half. It's like, what do you mean other half? Like, are you walking around like half-ass? Like that's insane. The idea of like looking for my half is an insane idea. It's because everyone is not feeling fulfilled and feeling the whole within because they're suppressing their shadow self. That's why they're looking for other half which doesn't exist. And also we are programmed by our parents, generations and ancestors, and as well as we're conditioned by society. So every human being on this planet, including myself and you, we are conditioned, we are programmed to do certain things. And if, for example, somebody got hurt, like, you know, I got bullied back in the days, and then if you got bullied or if you had some abusive, you know, father or mother or any type of experience that made you feel like, I don't want to get hurt again, then what you're going to do is that you're going to basically protect yourself. Coming from your inner child, is coming from your childhood experience. And then there are a lot of big boys, there are a lot of adults, you know, walking around looking adults, you know, looking like 30, 40, 50 years old. But inside, they're just the little hurt children. But their behavioral pattern is already created when they're 8 years old, 10 years old. And they're suppressing it, they're hiding from it, right? So their shadow self is not faced. Therefore, every time that there's something dangerous, something that potentially caused them pain, they'll act completely in a way that aggressive to protect themselves and protect their inner child. Let me tell you a story. Back in 1955, there was an African-American woman called Rosa Parks. And on that day, she was riding a bus. And there's a white man came up to her and then he wanted her to move. Right, back in the days, there was racism, it was really, really strict. But she didn't. She refused to change the seat. So she didn't stand up. She refused to stand up, not because she was quiet and calm and then she was sleepy. She was so angry inside, but she basically stood up for herself and for every other African American woman, man, man. She stood up for justice and she did what she wanted to do, what she needed to do, even if there's anger inside. It was a powerful stand. It was a powerful move against injustice. But what if she didn't do it? What if she just suppressed her anger? What if she just followed what the society tells you? Do you think if everyone is followed this conditioned mind by the society and parents and generational trauma, do you think that change will be made in this world or change will be made in your life? Whatever you suppress, it is going to come back to you twice and 3 times bigger. This is the reason why we need to express it. We need to express in a way that you have control over. So there's one famous study about suppressing your emotions. And this is called ironic process theory by psychologist Daniel Wegner. He found whatever the thoughts that you want to suppress, such as like, I don't like bear, I don't want to think about this, I don't want to listen to Justin Bieber. Then the more you focus on it, the more you think about like, I don't want to listen, I don't want to think about, it actually repeats way faster and it becomes even stronger. So in our human body or in human mind, we are designed to not to suppress it. So here's the thing. The more you suppress, the more it persists. And this is often called the white bear effect. So this entire study an idea and concept showing us that suppression or hiding from it isn't the solution. As a matter of fact, the opposite. So right now I'm going to teach you how you can embrace the dark shadow energy and what I call shadow alchemy. So that there's 3 steps in this shadow alchemy in order to create the rapid transformation. And step number 1, and you have to first being aware of all the emotion that you're suppressing and all the aspect and all the parts of yourself, and then use it in a way that pushes forward. When I was young, 23, 24 years old, just about when I started meditation, I was suppressing those emotions. I was smoking weed and I was just drinking and I was just, like doing some stupid stuff like drinking every day and just party. Because I didn't face myself. But that anger just kept suppressed. The frustration kept suppressed. Because back in my head, I was aware that I know I can do something, but I was not doing anything. Because everything was suppressed, right? My bullied self back in the days was just suppressed. So I was not doing anything. But the moment that I faced myself and then I start actually turning that frustration into I can do it better. It was more uplifting and it was a positive. But it was necessary for me to be aware that right now I'm in rock bottom and I need to get there. And it happened every stage of my life. For instance, when I was making 10K per month, I felt so stuck and then I felt exactly the same way. It's like, I'm looking at all these people making 50K per month, 100K per month, but they have less followers than me. And then in my eyes, they're less charismatic and they have less interesting whatever, right? And then I was judging other people and then it's like, I'm looking at them, it's like, well, why these people are making more money than me? Why these people are achieving more than me? I have skills, I have followers, I have everything. But it was basically me using a frustration, using the energy in a completely wrong way. And I realized it. Again, it's the same thing that I started when I started it. It's like, listen, that means I can do it better. So the moment that I create this conscious belief shift, that I basically 2, 3, 5x my income or achieve goals that I wanted to achieve. And it was so instant. It happens within a couple of months. Imagine, right now, you can turn the gravity into the opposite. Like the sky is the gravity now. You're going to just go like a fucking rocket to the sky, right? Imagine that energy that is working against you can just flip it in the exact same level, exact same power. Skyrocket. And that's why the change happens so fast when you tap into your dark shadow and then learn how to actually alchemize it into the positive direction that is going to help you and push it forward. And step number 2 is that your shadow is a reflection of your inner child. Every human being, every single human being, including myself and then you, are basically the product of the childhood experience, such as childhood suffering and childhood reward. And of course, we have societal condition as well as ancestors' condition. But a majority of the time, the strongest one that is going to hold us back is going to be what you experienced back in when you were childhood, right? There are a lot of people walking around like adult, like I said, but it's basically their products, unaware, they're products of their childhood experience, such as sufferings, then reward. But you have to understand that you have to own your shadow and you have to be with it, be a part, accept that shadow, and allows yourself to move on from whatever the condition you have from the past. And once you own it, you have the access to the power of all these suppressed emotions, all the suppressed part that you even didn't use or you even didn't notice. For example, because I was bullied back in the days, I hated getting attention. Because every time I get attention, for Instagram and social media, or even, people recognizing me on the street, I didn't want to get attention. Like, it was crazy because at first, when I started, I was so afraid that, maybe people notice me and then realize that I am not cool or whatever. So because back in the days, I was afraid, like I said, I'm a product of my childhood suffering and reward. Like, I felt like everywhere I go with the group setting, and I felt like somebody's laughing at me because I was bullied and there are people laughing at me, when they're school. So that's why it keep repeating it. And therefore I start acting cool and I don't express myself. It's because I don't want to be laughed at. I don't want to be hated. And once I became aware of that behavioral pattern, I start acting differently because now I have control over my shadow, and then I can use that fuel that I don't want to be laughed at. I get attention. I'm a rock star. So now I change that energy into a different direction. I don't care if I'm going to be laughed at. I will enjoy it because that's what it takes for me to achieve my goal. And then I know the fact if I'm going to be laughed at, then there will be people who's going to be inspired. The reason why I manifested a couple of million followers very quickly is because I turned that insecurity and turned that suppressed emotions and the fear, like the experience that I had when I was 11 years old and stuff. I turned that into a fuel, I turned that into a power. Shadow alchemy is all about using something you already have, but turning into something that fuels you so that you can use the same amount of energy that is holding you back. It's move you forward and fly like a fucking rocket. And then step number 3 is bring your insecurity outside of yourself. So the insecurity is insecurity because you're holding inside of you. Once it's out, it's no longer insecure. So whatever you feel ashamed of, whatever you feel like, I don't like myself, you want to bring it outside of yourself. You want to expose yourself. So this is exactly what I did. When I started it, I literally exposed myself, right? I was so insecure about how I look, everything. I was so insecure about quite everything. So that's why I started exposing myself on YouTube and on Instagram and everything. And I had a silver teeth back in the days, and now it's fixed and it's all white. But I had 3 silver teeth and I couldn't even smile properly. And then I had 20 fucking pimples when I was young. And I was the insecurity. And then I stopped caring some point when I was modeling back in the days. And then I started exposing myself and then I started owning it, right? I was just basically I was like, you know what? I don't have the best skin in the world. I don't give a shit. And then from that point, it was no longer insecure because I already exposed myself and then I already be honest about it. I was no longer holding myself back. People looking at me and people judging my skin. Right? I do not care. And that's why I make content even if I have pimples. I do have pimples right here. Right? I don't care. Because once it's out and exposed, it's no longer insecurity. But people hold themselves back, always make sure that insecurity is within me. That's why I'm hiding, I'm suppressing. So now you have to take that out. And then gradually, what's going to happen is literally you're going to feel completely different about that part of yourself. That once it's out and it's constantly out, then it's no longer an insecurity. As a matter of fact, if you go through these 3 steps, your shadow self is no longer a shadow. All these anime stuff that some people has a superpower. Imagine that your shadow self has the superpower, but because you're not using your superpower, you're just weak, just miserable character in the anime or in the movie, right? It's like all these Jujutsu Kaisen and all this One Piece and Bleach or even Naruto. That I think Naruto is a great example on this. The Kyuubi, the fox, is his shadow, but because he made a relationship, right? They became a fucking best friend. That's why he became the fucking strongest, right? And it's insane. But when he was fighting with his own shadow, he never was strong enough. But the moment that he became the best friend with the fox, the Kyuubi, and then he became like insanely strong. So you have to own your shadow, and then you have to turn your shadow, teach your shadow to become your ally and then your superpower. And this is exactly how you turn your shadow, right? This is called shadow alchemy. And now I would genuinely hope that you're gonna start doing this, and it's practical. You know back in your head like what exactly you need to do. Like it could be like making social media, or it could be doing something that you're challenging, right? Talking to strangers, etc., etc. But if you start doing that, your shadow becomes your superpower. All right. If you're an entrepreneur who wants to 2 to 5x your income and manifest like a god, you want to become the most confident version and grow your business, apply from the link in the description, and hopefully to see you very, very soon. All right. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and likes and comment. And tell me, what is your shadow that you want to turn a superpower? Let me know in the comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.